What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and it's Sunday night, so that means this is At Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and more. And before we dive into any of that, check out the short intro. Appreciate it, Big Time Collectibles, for sponsoring the monthly Legion Week Giveaway Box. It's going to be huge this week, so be sure to check out and pay attention to the social media and stuff. I'll be posting what all is going to be included in it. It's upwards of $350 giveaway this month for the channel members. And then Justin Comics over on Instagram, hit him up to get anything cleaned or press. Use that promo code We Are Legion. Take advantage of that special offer. And yeah, let's get into it tonight. It's been a long weekend. I got to start work tomorrow. Chris is tired and barely made it here, and here he is. And
right.
To be honest with you, we're both tired, but we're still going to talk some books. We're still going to clock this show in, and it's still going to be fun.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was laughing. You're like, and here's the short intro, and I'm like, that's like the same one I edited down for Two Cool Guys.
Now, that's the one that I edited down when I sent you. I thought, did I send it, or did you have to edit it down yourself?
I cut it down myself. Well, I got both. I got all three now. Like I got your original, the full length format, and now the radio edit. So,
I need to copy that original one back for times like that. I made that original one on just Google Photos. I just uploaded pictures and found stock music, and it's a slideshow is all it is.
But it works. It's got a good drum beat.
I like it. Yeah, that was just included in there. What is going on? Kyle Wheelchair Superhero 87 is up in the building. We got Paul Rogers, channel member. He's going for that box. Ayo, mystery box, Nick himself.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, check out my Instagram page, his Instagram page, his YouTube channel. He's got previews for this mid-range box. I think it's like 260 or 270 around that range shipped. But slabbages. He's got them slabbages in there.
Mm-hmm.
Slabbages.
U.S. only, though. U.S. only.
Oh, well, that is what it is. Thank God you have a U.S. post box.
It's true.
Stephen C., another channel member. What is going on? What's happening? Vincent McLean, the comic machine, is in the building. He's been picking up some bangers lately.
Is it McLean or McLean?
Vincent McLean, the comic machine. It rhymes.
I get it now. Or the comic
Vincent
machine.
McLean, the comic machine.
I'm not poking fun at the guy. That was just
I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Yeah, but
I like your way better.
Yeah, it's probably McLean. Yeah,
you gotta say the whole thing. It's like a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Pimp name Slickback. Coco and Joe Comic Reviews in the building. What is shaking, brother? How are you tonight? Logic Blasters up in here. What's up, guys? Nothing much. So, dude, I kind of I forget about stuff that I see that I kind of want to bring up or talk about. So I actually made sure to post it on Instagram today, which I think you might have saw it. But they shared the pictures of the team that's going to be facing off with the Justice League in the next issue. Justice League 75 is the official kickstart of the Dark Crisis event that's going to be happening over at DC. So we see all these big bad guys that have been pulled together for Pariah's Dark Crisis or Dark Justice team or whatever he was calling it. But it looked pretty dope. So that's something that I'm definitely excited for.
You think the Man of Steel is going to be involved in this, or is he going to be stuck in War World?
No, this is the regular characters' regular titles are going to be unaffected by this. It's a self-contained event. Okay. And like Batman books are still running. Like this is just affecting the Justice League stuff. Because if you follow Justice League, like Superman is in Justice League, it's like it's its own thing right now. A lot of stuff is, just kind of
It's like we always say though, like in the end, it's a Suicide Squad that's the backbone. And
that's how you know
what's going on. Read Suicide Squad.
And we both read World's Finest, and at the beginning of it, the very first thing it says in the distant past or the not too distant past, just making sure you know that this happened, but it just happened pick a time era and you get to call it that. That's when the Dark Crisis is going to be happening as it pertains to the other titles. This is just going to be logged into their records pretty much. Mars Comics, what is going on? Hope you're having a good night. That was pretty cool. And then I saw where there's a book coming out called Clobbering Time. It's a 5-issue miniseries with one of your dudes, Ben Grimm, with one of my dudes, the Hulk. So it's like a buddy cop book. It looks like we got Ben and Hulk getting together for 5 issues of clobbering, smash action. They're supposed to be going out and battling against deviants with the ultimate goal of taking down the Celestial. So both of them they're swinging for the fences. This should be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think one of them may have a minute chance between the pair, but I'm I'm a Fantastic Four fan. I read them right from when I was about 9 years old on up, and especially the time when Ben got heartbroken by Alicia Masters, who ended up marrying the Human Torch. And then, of course, the fallout was Ben left the Fantastic Four, and that introduced She-Hulk into the Fantastic Four, and that was a lot of good comic book reading at that point. Let me tell you,
it's actually a sore subject for me right now because you don't know the details, but how we were just talking right before how me and my daughter played that game. I took Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Thor. That was my team, the Avengers. She took Reed, Sue, Johnny, and She-Hulk. And it was She-Hulk that ended up dragging me. It was
lawyers.
It was rough. It was rough. Yeah, and that's all that I really had seen that I was like really pumped about that was coming up here soon. I don't think there's no new movies that dropped this week. There's no new shows that dropped this week. DMZ did drop, and I just started watching like the first episode today, but I got really interrupted, so it's going to become one of my shows that I watch while I'm grooming at work. It's an R-rated show, so it's not something I can like double time with family time and all that. So I'm looking forward to watching it. What I saw was all right. It wasn't like screaming like, "Hey, this is awesome," but it was pretty cool.
I was going to say, but we did get since last week, we did get the trailer drop for Ms. Marvel, starring a young Canadian actress, and we'll see where that goes. I know Mark's been critical of that trailer.
Ms. Marvel?
Yes.
I couldn't hear you. The kids ran in here naked, started doing power squats next to me to avoid their mom. Singing me naked. Why don't you go get your night-night on?
But we'll see. Clearly, Marvel's or the MCU is going in a different direction with this show, at least from the trailer perspective. That they're introducing a Muslim character. Not that faith should have anything much to do with a comic book superhero, but I'm sure it will somehow be tied into it. Hopefully, it's not controversial in a negative way. But will I watch it? Absolutely. Am I holding it way up here the way that I did with some other the properties? Not at this point. But again, I didn't expect that much from What If, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it, and it really elevated itself to me, especially the zombies episode. And
it was that Doctor Strange episode. That was everything.
Yeah, that's the one thing you and I can agree on. That the Doctor Strange episode was just brilliantly done. And in the end, the bad guy won for all the wrong reasons. But yeah, Ms. Marvel, we'll see. I think everyone that watched it is, I don't want to say cautiously optimistic, but it's just different. And nowadays, people aren't used to different when there's a specific recipe, as Mark and I have talked about before, when it comes to the MCU properties that they seem to be following. And yeah, it's going to be outside the box.
Yeah, I think what's going to be rough is I think it's going to catch a lot of negative feedback, not for any controversial reasons. I think it's just going to not be like super great. It's not going to be the taste for the majority of the audience that goes to see it, because they've built a brand. They've created an audience, based off what they do, and then they kind of change the audience, but the audience is still coming. The audience is still going to come and watch it. I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to check it out, and then you're going to have like this huge shift in the number of people that enjoy it versus don't enjoy it, you know. But I don't think I think it's going to land into this. I think it's going to really land for the small audience that they're aiming for, like the younger audience and stuff. I think you're going to have just mouthpieces that no matter what they do, they're going to say it's good just in a defensive way. But that's for everything.
And the flip side of that is there's going to be mouthpieces that just trash it just for the sake of trashing MCU stuff, you know, in hopes for views and stuff. I just want to put a pin in this just for a sec. Is it Hefe or Jeff? When I hear the word DMZ, I generally think of North Korea and South Korea as myself. I did not get to travel there when I served. However, my Canadian unit that I served with, the Governor General's Horse Guards, for the years that I served in the Canadian Armed Forces, were a strong part of that conflict in the Korean conflict in the in the 50s there. So my unit has a lot of history dealing with Korea. So often when I was going through that part of my life many years ago when I was in the Canadian military, DMZ was mentioned quite a lot about a lot of the retired soldiers that would come in and tell stories. They often talked about their experiences in Korea. But anyways, the one thing I don't like about Ms. Marvel is hearing people say, why? We don't even need this character. That's just not fair, because we didn't need a walking tree. We didn't need a smart-mouthed raccoon. But you know what? Everyone loves them. So that part, I'm just going to say, give her a chance. Give that part a chance. I'm just curious just on how it was set up. Like, we'll see. Again, I'm in my late 40s. This is a teenage show.
Gotta play the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fair point when the characters that you're bringing, you know, are intriguing and interesting and cool. But my worry is, again, I don't care that they make this show, other than it's filling the time slot of something else that could have been for everybody and not just for, because I keep hearing that this isn't for you. This isn't for you. Not just to me, but just in general. The entirety of all of the Marvel stuff, minus the R-rated Netflix stuff, has been for everybody. Yep. So now the first show that they're aiming for inclusion on isn't for all of these people. It makes no sense. But that argument doesn't make no sense. But the whole, no one asked for this character. Well, no one asked for the Guardians, but they knew that these characters can be used well. Kamala, they've already had to tweak, adjust, and create a version of her for this because they know that her as a character won't perform well. She isn't that intriguing. So they're having to shift her to make her intriguing. They're just dead set on using her, which I completely understand. They want to make sure that, like, she's Muslim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're wanting to touch on that. They're wanting to make sure that they have that present in their MCU because they are aiming for inclusion. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know with the Marvel stuff if there's other Muslim characters out there that can be used. I am more familiar with DC properties like Simon Baz, Green Lantern. I'd expect to see him in the upcoming Green Lantern show. You know, you have a lot of minorities and stuff included in the Green Lantern Corps. So I'll expect like that show it'll have it. You know, you won't have to adjust or change anything to put it there. And they're having to kind of step up her game and improve on the character for this show. It just makes me feel like they didn't have faith in this character, but they're having to use her anyways, or they're just feeling like they have to use her anyways. So hopefully it can still be good. I mean, none of that in the grand scheme of things matters at all. It's all about, is the show good or not? You know, it's the quality of the show. And a lot of times when you have, I hate to use the word agenda because people take it the wrong way so often or use it negatively so much. But when you're trying to do a specific thing, your story can sacrifice. You sacrifice a lot of story for it, and that's just where it gets dicey for me.
The one thing that everyone that's checking, so the one thing that Mark and I can't agree on, I poked a little fun at him though, is Flo just put something up there, and we all, like I mentioned at the top of the show, I am a big Fantastic Four fan, and I clearly understand how important they are both to the history of comics and more importantly to the history of Marvel. And without a good Fantastic Four story happening in Marvel Comics, the whole franchise, as far as I'm concerned, is slightly weakened. Now, Ms. Marvel has powers in the comics that are very, very replicant of what Mr. Fantastic can do. The stretching body parts and all that. And they totally
big hands, man. Like,
yeah,
everyone's trying to compare to Mr. Fantastic, but she doesn't do what he does.
Do that though. He can
get big hands. She can't do what he does. That's
but
Not a
they
character
trying to totally change. They changed like what it looks like of her abilities, changed it around. So again, I get like you mentioned before on a different channel that maybe they did changed it up because they don't want her to look like Mr. Fantastic, because when they bring in the Fantastic Four, they have to be themselves. They have to be the team that we recognize, because we know that, you know, it seems like the next story or the next big phase will run through the Baxter building, whether people
Yeah,
like it or
I'm
not,
super
outside
excited for
of
the
the Young
Fantastic
Avengers.
Four.
What's that? Yeah. You know, it was a major coup when they got them back. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, they got the mutants back, but you need to recognize, if you know the history of Marvel, they got the Fantastic Four back, and, well, the Illuminati is surrounded by Reed Richards, so.
Yeah, I don't think that everybody might have liked Loki, but it wasn't like when that show was coming out. Going back to Brother John's point that I just read, when they were making that, no one was being told this isn't for you. It was wide open for everybody. It just goes into taste. Everything has taste, but never until now have we heard people saying this show's not for you. But I guess like there's also some of my perspective going into that, because Moon Knight isn't going to be for children. I don't think. Like, granted, they keep saying it's going to be brutal and this and that. I don't know how far they're going to take it, because they announced all of that. Then we saw them shift all the Netflix shows over. So now, they've kind of ramped Disney, the American version of Disney Plus, up to now need parental guidance. You had Free Guy put on there with F words in it. You have the Daredevil, the Netflix shows that are hard R. So now they kind of set the stage for it to not be like shocking if Moon Knight comes out as a hard R as well.
But that said, we did get the news that Daredevil is returning. Charlie Cox is reprising the role, and that he's getting his series on Disney Plus at some point.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's one of those characters that I can't remember anyone saying that many bad things about when those Netflix seasons came out. Even in the Defenders, that Charlie Cox's Daredevil was very, very good.
I think that people just didn't really care for the Iron Fist story. Like, I didn't even make it through the whole season, and it wasn't like the actor's portrayal. It was just the story was kind of soft. It didn't really go hard enough.
Yeah, it's hard for me to argue that one. Even the season 2 of Jessica Jones, I thought was better than the first, and that one had a Doctor Who in it.
Yeah, there's some parts of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that were more enjoyable for others, but in the grand scheme of things, that show just felt like an ABC show. At the time of that coming out, like I was more into like the production style quality of like HBO shows, and AMC for sure. Like, that's when Walking Dead was firing on all cylinders. When I was keeping up with
no
S.H.I.E.L.D.
wrong at that point. Yeah,
me
every
and Pop
Sunday was an event.
Yeah, and then they even had the after show that they did.
Yeah.
Where they were. It was rough. Well, since Disney Plus has put that, do you want to allow MA content? I hope that Moon Knight is going to be brutal. Yeah, hope they do. Hope they go hard on it. No one was saying it's not for you, because there wasn't really a big outcry of people fussing about the trailer before the show came out. No, and also because it was for everybody. It wasn't aimed at little kids or mature adults. It's literally an in the middle of the road show. Like, straight up, Loki is an in the middle of the road show.
I thought it was better in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Again, taking taste out of the equation, like after like just what it was made for, that was an all audience show. Can we compare Kid Marvel to Stargirl TV series wise for the audience? Someone else kind of mentioned that too, but Stargirl isn't like, that's deceiving. That's not really made for little kids. It might look like it is, you might think it is, and then a little kid will get thrown in front of a moving bus by the bad guy and murdered. Like it goes. It's very deceiving. You'll be sitting there thinking you're in like Calm Town America, which you are, and then like some brutal stuff will happen out of left field. It's wild. It's very unique. It's a one of a kind show. I didn't watch the second season. I have to get there, I guess.
I thought it was okay. A lot of Katana use in that one.
Yeah, that went really hard when they brought Ghost Rider in. That was awesome.
Yeah. The car was wicked too.
Boys Season 3 Red Band trailer. Yo, that was wicked. Yeah, the new Boys trailer dropped. That Red Band trailer, there's a lot. Loki was in the middle of the road, absolutely. I'm talking about content-wise here. Like, you're basically your rating. Like kids don't. You can take kids to see No Way Home, and then when it's over with, ask them what it was about, and they're just going to say Spider-Man. You know, they won't be able to keep up with all that. But
Come on now. Well,
I'm
don't be.
talking
Come on.
like Finn went and saw it. From like I'm not joking here. Like Finn was able to go see that movie content wise. It was not too much for Finn to see. Could Finn keep up with the multiversal hopping story with multiple eras of Spider-Man crossing over? The number of villains? No, we can't keep up with all that. It was too dense for him. But was it inappropriate for him to watch and enjoy the action scenes? No. That's what I'm saying. It was in the middle of the road show. Spider-Man's in the middle of the road movie. It's made for everybody. There's like Finn can enjoy it. I can enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it for different things, but we all get to enjoy it.
The Blue Jays won today.
What reference was it? Oh, that's cool. Logan seemed like a setup for Kang.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was because he was in it. Yeah, I'm excited for some Kang in the new Ant-Man. I enjoyed the Ant-Man movies, man. I know a lot of people like kind of crap on the second one, but I thought it was a blast. I like it. It's hard to go wrong with Mingos. So Miss Marvel is not middle of the road for what reason? Because they have intentionally made it for kids. Like it's not me coming up with these things. I'm just saying the information that's out there. It's geared for younger kids. It's geared for teenagers. It's not geared. They didn't make this show with you in mind. That doesn't mean you won't enjoy it. You were not considered in the making of this show.
Oh, they're grabbing the next generation of ticket buyers.
Yeah, this isn't
out of left field. I forget I mentioned it.
This isn't a hot take. I'm just putting out what is like that. That wasn't their intentions to make the show with you in mind. Just like, and I mentioned earlier, when they made Moon Knight, they did not make Moon Knight with Finn in mind. So it's like the complete opposite. So that's what I'm saying with them rolling over the Netflix stuff. Maybe we're going to start seeing more of this split content for different viewers, because that's kind of how the comics can be too. You know, you have mature comics out there, and then you have like Marvel Age comics and adventure comics. Out of left field, but I forgot to mention it. Yeah, so that's really how the comics are. Are you asking me to take out?
I haven't heard this news. Like, is this a thing right now? Jaden Smith is rumored to be Miles?
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely rumored because Will Smith was in an interview, and they asked him something, and I don't think they didn't ask him specifically about Miles either, but he gave an answer that this isn't the exact quote, but Miles is gearing up to do Jaden's gearing up to do a character that has been cried for in the live action and loved all around. Like he was very cryptic with it, but Miles would fit into what he said. It doesn't mean it is Miles, but doesn't mean it's not, you know.
Yeah, but Erica Slaughter, same. Never mind.
Yeah, there you go. What is the guy's name? Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron still needs to be cast.
Dude, that would be awesome if Black Bolt shows up for the Illuminati. I don't know why they're trying so hard to avoid Inhuman stuff. I know they did that show on ABC, the little spinoff miniseries, but they already exist in the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. And no one ever pays attention to what happened in the S.H.I.E.L.D. show as canon in the MCU. That was kind of like a One Direction. Like, if it happened in the MCU, the S.H.I.E.L.D. show had to acknowledge it. But what happened in the S.H.I.E.L.D. show did not have to be acknowledged in the MCU. So that's where the Disney Plus stuff has really stepped up the game, because it goes both ways. But Finn is not complaining about Moon Knight content. Yeah, because he doesn't know it's coming. Anger out by ripping a book in half.
He leaves that to me.
It's all rumor. I actually have one book that Finn messed up, so I rebought a copy of it, and I used it for the Whack Comics episode that they had me on. And I've kept that one book here that I had to alter for that show, just in case I ever have to alter one again, because it was hard. Like, I looked through, so I'm like, I can't find a single book. Then I remembered that I just had to trash a book that Finn went, so I went and dug it out of the trash. Like, there we go. Jaden Smith is either Miles or Static Shock, since Michael B. Jordan has been on the producer side of that live action. Yeah, I forgot that there's a Static Shock coming eventually.
Right. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's. It seems to be affiliated with DC right now, as opposed to Marvel.
No.
Yeah, Namor's coming in Black Panther 2. He's been cast. So, but yeah, that's one thing I wanted to touch on. Yeah, Kevin Feige probably hates seeing humans because he wanted to make it a movie. It became a TV show, and that's how we ended up getting the Eternals as a film.
So the Inhuman show is on Disney Plus. It's been there since it launched, but I still haven't watched it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was a couple.
What is going on, Tyler?
A couple Game of Thrones actors who got killed off before the final season ended up on Inhumans.
Negative. That's Calvin Ellis. Michael B. Jordan is working on Val Zod, Earth 2 Superman, which is the pacifist Superman that was introduced during New 52 during Tom Taylor's run. So the one that you've been seeing in the Justice League Incarnate stuff, that's the Calvin Ellis Superman, present Superman,
right?
In the First Period Action Comics. So he's going to be doing the Val Zod one, which is really exciting because I love that Earth 2 run. It's JSA from the New 52 era. So
Calvin Ellis' first appearance was at Action Comics cover where he's kind of looking off, ripping open the shirt,
the light behind him. Yeah, it's fantastic cover. Yeah. And then Val Zod's first cover has like a bunch of like parademons surrounding Batman.
Okay. Seems fitting.
Yeah. It took him, from the time of him introducing it, took him a few issues to even get into suit or anything because, again, he was a pacifist. He wasn't trying to get into the middle of a fight or anything. It was a great read. Watching his character arc and everything. He had Supergirl training him and trying to get in fight. Like basically, like, look, you can be a pacifist, but that just means you're letting all your friends die. You know, you don't have to be a psychopath to be useful. Oh, dude, I'm glad someone mentioned Westworld. I've been waiting on that 4th season for, it feels like forever now. Like the way that it ended was it's crazy. That nothing will ever top that first season of Westworld for me. That first season of Westworld is by itself the best first season of any show I've ever seen in my life. Have you watched it?
Yes.
What other first season? Just first season really delivered like that.
The Walking Dead.
Oh no, that was like
come on, like you walked on horseback like a couple miles away from where you are, didn't you?
I'm not saying the Walking Dead
right up the highway.
It's hard to compare with like the writing of that first season. Like you didn't even know that you were in 2 different timelines and like this fall. It was
come on, like the Game of Thrones.
Yes, Bernard is my dude.
I think
Game of Thrones is up there. It's definitely up. There's a lot of
first season of Game of Thrones, like the main actor, the star of the show. Off with Ned's head.
Yeah, first season of Lost.
Lost.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, and Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, Lost is one of my all-time favorite shows. The Office. True Detective, yeah, that's a good one too. True Detectives has some terrible seasons though, but the first one was
still
incredible.
Couldn't get through that first season yet.
No?
Because I remember I was like on that binge streak for all the HBO Max stuff. Yeah. And I think it was just a hard shift into it from what I've been watching. So I just shelved it because I keep hearing how good it is and I just didn't feel invested in it. And I wanted to wait and go back to it when I can actually feel invested in it and actually get out of it what it's meant to be. I mean, it's got some phenomenal actors and everything. So I just.
The thing about The Sopranos, yes, the first season was great, but all the seasons were great. And that's what made The Sopranos such a fantastic franchise. Breaking Bad, another one of those shows where all the seasons were just kept getting better. The Boys Season 1, yeah.
There's a lot of good ones out there, but for me,
the whole breast milk thing.
Westworld just like twisted my brain. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and what you have highlighted there, I think is the greatest show that's ever been.
Oh, The Wire. That's the one.
That's the greatest show that's ever been made for television. The Wire. Every season is its own standalone thing, and every season is just incredible and top-notch acting as well. And Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers is another, even though that's just a 1-season thing.
But you had the Pacific
storytelling
with it. Did you ever watch the Pacific?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Nip Tuck.
Never
Season
watched
1 of FNL. I'm not sure what FNL is.
Do you mean like the NFL?
FNL.
I know.
I don't know what that one is.
SNL.
John flew us in here. I rewatched The Wire, and I think that when you said True Detective, I was thinking of The Wire. That's the one that I was thinking of.
The Wire's incredible.
Yeah,
made Baltimore expose Baltimore for what it is.
I'm so glad someone said The Wire. I feel safe here now. Omar coming.
Yeah.
Oh, Friday Night Lights. Okay, I'm sorry.
And that actor who played Omar just passed away last year.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams. Yeah,
terrible
he
shame. He was incredible actor. Yeah, they actually they pay homage to that character in The Hangover. Mike Tyson says recipes, but we don't talk about Omar.
Mm.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what's going on, that's the writer's quiet homage to The Wire.
Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
The hard to believe the guy who's responsible for the Hangover trilogy is responsible for the Joker. $1 billion plus on an R-rated movie with bringing home Golden Globes and Oscars.
Yeah. Hold on, that teenage party movie that came out after The Hangover, where they trashed their house, like just a wild party that gets out of control. That was Todd Phillips as well. That came out after The Hangover.
Project X or something like that.
Project X. That was awesome to witness.
I didn't realize it, but the whole thing was like based off of like a news interview where cops got called to a house party and they got the kid responsible for the party on. He shows up with like sunglasses on and probably still lit. And they're like, do you want to say your story? He's like, no, it was great. And he just sits there unapologetically, like cool. Yeah. So they just.
And Old School is the one that birthed The Hangover and everything afterwards. Yeah, it's still, we're going streaking through the quad.
Frank the Tank. Go to the quad, past the gymnasium. You're streaking.
Old School is just one of those movies you can pluck out whatever line you want, just put it into a setting, and if you've seen it, you totally know what's going on. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Vince Vaughn at his finest.
Yeah, Frank the Tank too. You have Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell in there, and Sean William Scott shows up as the animal handler. The dart in the neck,
dude. That's awesome.
Exactly.
You're funny.
I like you, man, but you're funny. You're my boy, Blue. When they're all standing on the roof with the cinder blocks and the ropes, and one of them throws it, hits the manhole and goes straight through.
the big black dude. You know, Wolowitz from Big Bang Theory is actually one of those characters on the wall.
Release the fury, Mitch.
Yeah. Again, if Old School wasn't a success, we wouldn't have The Hangover and Project X and then the Joker, because Todd Phillips would have been shamed right out of Hollywood. Yeah, Old School was that film.
I'm gonna have to watch that going to bed now. I appreciate that. Something like that should be free on YouTube by this point. YouTube has, for those that don't know, YouTube has a huge movie library of free movies and stuff. Like they're not pirated or anything. They're just movies that you can find them free. Like there's a lot of apps and stuff that have free movie categories, and YouTube is no different. But I'd imagine that has to be like one of those free ones. When I worked at Movie Stop, because of how many people bought that DVD when it came out, there was always like 500 copies in the store. So stuff that's that readily available. I can't imagine it not being easy to get a hold of.
Yeah. That whole scene with Snoop coming out, starting to do,
to
do his concert. Will Ferrell comes up. I like your hat, man. Trying to touch the pip. Oh, man.
So it is not free. That's a bummer. I'm gonna have to check all the other apps. It's $3.99 to buy it in high definition. That's happening tonight. I don't want to have to put a DVD in. Oh, Dexter. Yeah, I love Dexter. Constantine Season 1.
Haven't seen it.
Constantine only season.
Does it draw from Alan Moore's writing?
It was I think it was originally like CBS or something like that. It didn't start on the CW. It was kind of like how Supergirl started elsewhere. Right. And it only ran for one season, and then Matt Ryan popped up in like an episode of Arrow here and stuff like that. Swamp Thing Season 1. Are you talking about the one from the early 90s or the most recent season? Because that most recent season was fire.
And sadly got canceled.
Yeah, but not due to quality, due to the people putting it together.
Politics.
Messed up. My wife loves Lucifer. I don't know if she's seen this TV show, though. We're talking about
Mark, blink twice if you're in trouble.
TV shows. And someone in the comments said Lucifer. I said, yeah, my wife loves Lucifer. I don't know. Then I said, I don't know if she's seen the TV show though.
Yeah, not the.
You should have seen.
Not the musical episodes though. I don't like those.
They're weird. Constantine was in an episode of Lucifer also, wasn't he? No, that was the other way around. No. Lucifer was on a CW Crisis thing.
What?
When they pulled in all the stuff from everywhere, even the Flash from the Snyderverse showed up in the Crisis event. They pulled stuff from the original Batman '89 movie, Flash from Zack Snyder's stuff, everything. Stuff that was happening on the DCU app, like the Titans, Doom Patrol. They had little cameos of pop-ups of people.
The Allstate man makes a good god.
Makes a good what?
Good god.
Oh, he plays the god.
Yeah.
I forget that guy. The Allstate man. You were in good hands.
The president from 24. Dennis Haybert.
I don't know. He's got that voice though.
Yeah. He was the president on Kiefer Sutherland's 24. Big, tall, black dude. Dennis Haysbert is his. He was actually in Major League as the.
Oh, that's a callback. That's old school right there.
Come on, let's go back.
Big home run hitter that was the Intavuni.
She said that the Allstate guy plays the devil in Lucifer.
No.
What?
He plays God.
Isn't Lucifer the devil?
God. He plays God.
He plays God.
Lucifer is the son of the devil.
Here, go tell him.
In the TV show?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Well, I don't.
Now you're making
like
me
in the
question
Bible.
myself.
If we want to get biblical, that's it's all architecturally incorrect. Bye, Daddy's daughter.
You tell Chris bye. Tell Chris night night. Oh, now you're gonna get bashful.
That's
You want
okay.
to have her? Night night. Oh, Lena right next to the other one.
Nick knows what I'm talking about. Joe Boo.
I remember Fringe. That was like a modern X Files, and there we go. X Files is already mentioned.
Amy Jo Johnson is in Flashpoint. It is not a Flash-related TV show.
Pink Ranger, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying night monkey. Night night. Nick said night night. Mars said night night.
That was weird.
She's using her passies to Jonah Hex, so she like gets him right here. John said sweet dreams.
So don't let bed bug fight.
Shoving our TV off the stand.
Probably.
I think so.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jonah Hex, I wonder if Marvel is going to really play around with the multiverse of madness. Could we get the two-gun kid or Kid Cold Outlaw?
I don't know.
in one little vignette scene?
But I used Jonah Hex as an example the other day. Call back to our earlier conversation. No one asked for a Jonah Hex movie, but
But we got it.
and see now I completely know that that's not a good movie. You know, it wasn't fully well put together, but I enjoy it. But that's just because like I'm very forgiving with a lot of stuff. Like when I'll find a way to watch it with rose tint glasses, but I'm still aware that it's not a good movie. I wouldn't try to convince somebody else to watch it or something. I would watch it like this was bad. I enjoyed it, but it was bad.
He still got more jobs. Like he became Thanos, Cable afterwards. So
Yeah,
he's not afraid of comic book properties. Let's give him that.
Last night, me and the wife sat down and watched Deadpool 1 and 2 back to back because the kids went and stayed with my mom after a baby shower. And she's like, let's watch Deadpool. Right, perfect, let's do it. We sat there at 10:30. We ordered Domino's at 10:30 at night. It was a good night.
Up here in Canada, we call that Domino's.
We ordered Domino's and I got a salad from Domino's because they have all kinds of good stuff.
That
I remember
was a
the only thing
joke,
I
though. We
remember
call it
from
Domino's.
Fringe was a werewolf episode where he like turns into a werewolf or something in an airplane in the beginning.
So instead of snakes on a plane, it's werewolves on a plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're 48 minutes into this, Chris. Well, you want to burn through some books and head out of here?
Let's do it. Yeah. Jeff is right. Goonie to Jonah to Cable to second Thanos. It's
Who's
true.
the
It's
first
true.
Thanos?
Thanos was cast originally by, I believe, an African-American actor for just that little head spin that he does in one of the Stingers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that they had an actor attached. I figured that was just all CG.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah.
One more.
Carl Urban wrote his own sequel to Dread, but no one greenlit it. Shame
Good.
we haven't had a sequel to Dread. But
Yeah,
then again, if they could leave that alone, and I would be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I picked up Mighty Morphin 17, which is the first Mighty Morphin since the Altarian War event. So it was just a where they at kind of placeholder book. We did get a cameo of like a well-known Power Ranger universe character named Andros, who came in like later seasons of the Power. I say later, but later to me, like I'm like a first generation kind of Power Ranger fan. But his name's Andros. He's attached. He's like this character Andromeda's brother. This big bad guy chick. So they've always been teasing like these big bad guys and like third, fourth, fifth season characters after they weren't the Mighty Morphin team anymore. But we're still in like the first 3 seasons of Power Rangers costumes, and we're not seeing any evolution. But they're introducing all these Easter eggs, so that was exciting. Justice League 74. Now this one I was pumped about. I was trying to finish reading it before the stream, but this is the finale to the Leagues of Chaos event, where the Dr. Fate is the Lord of Light. Well, the Lord of Darkness came, Xanadoth, and wreaking havoc. And this was a little 3-issue event that tied in the backup story characters, the Justice League Dark, with the main book. And they've been trying to stop this huge evil magic entity from destroying the Earth. And what's really exciting is we got a little event right before issue 75, which is going to be the death of the Justice League, which is the start of the Dark Crisis. That's what I'm most excited about. Is this was a fun way to roll it out. But
now, do you think Zdarsky's last ride is going to tie into the death of the Justice League at all?
I don't, because like for a while, like when that was coming out, I thought that was going to be like our callback to that future state stuff. Because like this is just really showing us what happened. Like we saw in Future State, this team of the Justice League that we're about to see after the death of the Justice League, this group of younger heroes that have to come together as a rookie team, which is a cool dynamic shift because now you have the Titans are your senior team operating in DC Universe. Dick Grayson, Donna Troy, Wally West, Roy Harper's back. So those are your seniors. Like instead of the grown-up Titans looking for guidance from the Justice League, it's going to be reversed. But we saw this team operating in Future State of rookies talking about something that happened to the Justice League, and they didn't want to talk about it. It was horrible, and they were trying to do things differently than them, and we're going to finally get to see that. And I thought that's what Last Ride was going to be, but it turned out to just be more of a self-contained story. Night, Nick.
You're not going to sleep
well if you fall asleep
old school.
And I saw Mega Ranger helmets. There's a lot of them. Flash 6792 in the chat would definitely know as well. He keeps up with and picks up a lot of those Rangers cover. Appreciate that, Nick. War for Earth 3 rages on in part 3 over here in the Flash, which is kind of a self-contained Flash issue as well, where the events of the War from Earth 3 kind of dip into his title for a second, with Johnny Quick coming to steal the cosmic treadmill for Amanda Waller, and Mirror Master, who is on Rick Flag's Suicide Squad team, trying to intervene and stop him. Hashtag raise the flag. Spoiler alert, he gets the treadmill.
Again, they're the backbone of the entire continuity right now.
It was a really fun issue because the Cosmic Treadmill is in the Flash Museum, but not the real one. So he goes ransacking the Flash Museum. Alarms go off while he goes, and he ends up finding it. But Mirror Master pops in, and of course that's another rogue of the Flash. So he thought now he's dealing with 2 villains when really the Mirror Master was there to stop him, and Flash not listening to a bad guy telling him, "Hey, I'm not here for you," is what caused Johnny Quick to get away with the win.
I was totally just going to ask you a question. Outside of Darkseid, do you feel Amanda Waller is the best villain DC has right now?
In terms of like villain, like if you had to define it on paper, she is way up there.
For the DC comic, continuity, for reading DC comics, I enjoy her so much more than anyone else as a villain. She is I just like a villain that's 3 steps ahead. Even when she gets caught, it's like, yeah, I set this up. It's okay. Like
Yeah,
it's
she's
I'm still
ridiculously
doing
tough.
what I'm doing, and
It's like you
can't
can never
stop
get a
me.
victory over her. All you can do is make her enact her plan B. That's all you can really do, and it's a good villain when you see yourself getting frustrated by her, like, oh, I just want to shake this character, and that's what she's meant to do, and that's how it really is.
She's very satisfying to read. Yeah.
Yeah. Detective Comics, Shadows of the Bat, the second to last issue for this, and is this the one where we fell? I don't even know if I read this one. No, I have not read this one yet, so I have to read this one still. So I believe this is the second to last issue, but we did get the return of Batman in the issue before this, so I can only assume it's Batman catching up with his team and formulating a plan to go do the finale on, because it's comic books. But it's been really good. It's been a good event. I am ready for it to go back to at least every other week, because it's been weekly for 12 weeks. And that's just that's a lot.
It is a lot, and thankfully they've had fantastic covers. Just for an A cover, like they don't need they could have gave Lee Bermejo a little bit of a vacation, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
with yeah, and this Wednesday's cover features Batman himself, and that too is a fantastic cover. Whomever this artist is,
something Rodriguez. I can't.
Right.
You know me, I'm going to butcher somebody's
great
name.
Stuff.
Me and my southern accent don't do don't do names very well.
Yeah, his Harley Quinn was very, very
well
done.
Oh my gosh, he drew her so unique, and like he drew all these different characters very individually. Like you can always tell who they were, like per his vision. What is going on, Kenneth Bird? So now I'm down to just 2 books left, and one that I actually want to kind of talk about.
Yep.
I'm kind of excited, and you know which one that is. But do you have a few you want to just kind of burn through before we get to that one?
Well, I'll show you what I got. The book that you want to talk about is the one that I actually got through. Let's talk about this masterpiece for a second. This was my hot pick last week, and I got one. I'll be giving it away when I hit 700 subscribers. But yeah, Jenny Frison again. When Mark and I do this little thing every Sunday, 2 cool guys who have picks, where we each pick one book that we feel you may want to consider picking up for New Comic Book Day. Every so often, I throw a banger cover that I've fallen in love with, and more often than not, it's always something that Jenny Frison does. And this Zoe cover is just incredible. This is Jenny Frison doing Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Selena Kyle, in the Batman film, and I thought it was just a home run. And the fact that she's holding like a motorcycle chain makes it even better. Yeah,
that's what she uses her whip in the movie, right?
Right.
Or the bicycle or motorcycle chain. Chris, you might be able to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been collecting Amazing Spider-Man, but like I said before, I collect a few and then I binge read. Can I read the regular numbers, or do I have to read the BEY numbers along?
So the BEY is just short for the Beyond Corporation. Basically, it's telling a story of what's actually happening inside the Beyond Corporation when it comes to the 2 female characters that's in there, Colleen and Misty Knight. You can, if you want the deep perspective of what Ben is going through in this new rapid format they've been releasing weekly with ASM, you can. You don't need to read BEY. It's just a little bit more of an extension to find out what's actually going on inside BEY. If you're enjoying the Queen Goblin, you don't need the BEY. But if you want to know what Ben's going through with his girlfriend Janine, you're going to want to read BEY. But yeah, I picked up Peggy Cloonan's Wonder Woman. This is the Trial of the Amazons, 3 of 7. Death of an Amazon. The short story is Adventures of Young Diana. Like Mark, Detective 1027, but I went for that Bermejo. Just Bermejo being Bermejo. Let's call him what he is. He's a master of this generation. Star Wars Halcyon. Halcyon Legacy issue number 2.
Where's Rob? We need a check here.
Yeah, and basically it's turning a story into that out of that new Star Wars ride. A book that I'm very excited to read. I'm kind of disappointed I never got a chance to read it, to talk about it tonight. Is Kieran Gillen's The Eternals, The Heretic, where we find out about Thanos' grandfather and Thanos, who is now the leader of the Eternals. Just because I like Rom V, and Mark likes Rom V too, but I picked up Carnage 1. I've heard it's kind of... But
Is it about Cletus Cassidy or a new person with the Carnage?
No, I believe it's just the symbiote, just the symbiote itself.
Because I think I heard something about that. I wasn't sure if I heard it right.
Yeah, no, Cletus is not in this, and yeah, just right off the bat, it's going to be an interesting ride.
Oh wow, that person's face has been
it's
been separated from the face.
Separated from the face. Now, a week and a half ago, I had issues picking up We Live. So my LCS tossed this in as an apology. And the book that Mark and I are going to get deep into is what I kind of want to rebrand World's Finest Action Comics, because this book is action from start to finish all the way through, and poor Superman. But yeah,
dude,
this is a fun book.
It was that's the best way to describe it. It was just pure fun.
Yeah, it's just a 90s type of fun book. And the interior is incredible.
Yeah, so we got Mark Waid on the writing for it, Dan Mora on the art. And dude, Dan Mora was like, he was really meant to draw these characters. He draws them in like such a classic way, but you can tell that it's new style art.
Yeah.
It's almost for me, I get like Jim Lee and animated like cartoon vibes kind of like come together. I don't know if you remember that era of the DC animated movies, where they were pulling directly. When they were pulling directly from the comic books, they would draw the characters in the likeness of the artist that was on them in the books. And I feel like this is like what a Jim Lee animated show would look like almost. But it was a really cool story. It kicks off like it with a non-specific time in the past, so they just let the story be itself. It's not contingent upon any other happenings in Batman or Superman stuff, as the previous Batman Superman tie-in book was, so that they're able to just tell unrestrained good stories, include whoever they want, heroes, villains, guest stars. You get this whole like original World's Finest or even Brave and the Bold vibe, where we get the sense like we don't know what kind of guest stars we're going to be seeing in this book, because in this first issue, of course, we have Superman and Batman. We've got Robin there with us. Yep. We get like the whole Daily Planet people and everything. But then the Doom Patrol gets called in to help. So we get Rita Farr, we get Negative Man, we get Robot Man, we got Niles at the end. So we get the Doom Patrol guest starring. And I saw where the cover for issue 4 has got Hal Jordan, Green Lantern guest starring. So I'm hoping that moving forward, it'll just be a revolving door of guest stars, and we'll get to see and play with all these characters that don't get as much time, screen time and stuff. And I don't know, just it was fun.
I see Jeff said that he pulled the 125 just because the two 1 and 25 issues are fun. I actually went out and I ordered the 1 and 100, the Jerry Seinfeld cover, driving the classic Batman, Superman and Batman, or Superman and Jerry Seinfeld getting coffee. It just spoke to me.
Nice, and it's the Virgin copy as well for the 100, right?
Yep.
But look at this line work that this guy pulls off for these characters.
That's top notch. Even like Mark, if you go back a couple of pages where Superman is holding that young boy, like it's just great. Like Batman and Robin showing up right above him, and
I love the way that he draws Batman's cape.
Yeah.
I can get this to there we go. Like it's really exceptional.
Yeah, this is it's really
very,
fun.
Very above par artwork.
And if you notice, the little boy that Superman saves there has a Superman toy. Yeah. And the entire line of the I mentioned this to you earlier before backstage. Batman is speaking to Poison Ivy, who's attacking the Daily Planet, And Batman says, we've been tracking you since you left Gotham City, Ivy. I have no idea what you're doing in Metropolis, but trust me, you're out of your league here.
You're out of your league here.
And Superman's floating there, saving this young boy, looking at this whole thing happening in front of him, and speaks to Batman. She's one of yours, right?
Yeah. I mean, the story was really fun too. So we had Poison Ivy show up in Metropolis. It kind of caused like a little commotion, and then Metallo shows up right when they think they have Poison Ivy dealt with, and Metallo obviously like shows up powered by and fueled by kryptonite, weakening Superman, and he pulls out a syringe with a concoction, and he starts doing a proper monologue that you want your villains to do, and explains to the readers that red kryptonite affects Superman in many different ways and is so unpredictable you never know what it'll do. Well, inside the syringe we have multiple different pieces of red kryptonite ground down and mixed together, so let's see what that does. And they have that powerful scene right there where he stabs him in the chesticles, and it just sets off a chain of events that run Superman through numerous different unpredictable, overpowered scenarios of just blowing out all kinds of energy, hallucinating, like his skin going translucent, and they can't stop him, and he's getting to the point where he's causing massive amount of damage, and the Doom Patrol gets called in to help rope him in, and it's still hard at that point, and Batman has to go and do like a really personal moment with him where Superman's hallucinating, and he's seeing him as Lex Luthor, and he's holding him, hurting Batman, and Batman's saying, "Clark, it's me, Bruce," and he has to just get like down to earth and like reason with him. He's like, I know you're seeing something, but whatever you're seeing, would they know that you're Clark? Would they know that you know who I really am? And it was a really cool little moment there. And it was dope. Then they take him back to the Doom Patrol's base of operation for Niles Calder to help out. And we also find out that these villains were just a distraction. There was somebody up on a building side watching the fight take place, and they were only seen in silhouette. It looked like a female silhouette and then a male silhouette, and the male character had horns on his head. So I can only start guessing, and it's very, very hard to even guess, but the two main characters I think of with horns are Magog and Steppenwolf. So I would be happy either way. And it might not be either. Like, what if it's Trigon? Are there 3 eyes on it? Do you even have eyes on it?
Let me
Is it fully silhouetted?
Really close in, like there we go.
Yeah,
there's 2. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't tell how they were trying to play that with the shading.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun if it was Steppenwolf. The character obviously would be, for people that don't pick up comics all the time, Steppenwolf, if they've seen Justice League, they know that he's the big bad in that movie. And it'd be fun. However, it's probably Magog.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pop said it's Loki. Phantom Cave Comics. What is going on? How are you doing? Phantom Cave Reviews. I'm sorry.
It's
and said Metallo's needle can pierce Superman's skin. Well, he rocked the kryptonite inside.
Kryptonite, yeah. But yeah, when Superman's doing his shake, you can tell that he's in agony. The one thing that Batman references is the scream that Superman is doing this entire time, the agony that he's going through. And it's the one thing that Mark Waid does well here, is that you legitimately feel bad for what Superman is going through. And at one point, like I mentioned, he's doing this vibration, and it's so much so it's drawn to represent he's moving so fast it's like a blur. And Robin says, "What's he doing?" And Batman says his powers have amplified to where he can't contain them. That's why he's vibrating at super speed. And that's when, we have the Doom Patrol comes in and literally saves Superman.
Matches his frequencies. And it was cool. There's a couple flashback sequences in there as well that allowed us to get earlier interactions with Batman and Superman, and also getting a little bit of time with the Penguin as well. That was pretty dope. Yeah. But overall, this was definitely my read of the week. It gave me like these total like old school vibes while still feeling fresh and new. We got very familiar characters, which are enjoyable to have, but doing different things. Like we've seen Red Kryptonite, we've seen Metallo, but he's mixed all these different red kryptonites into this concoction, and it was fun watching how well he wrote all the characters individually. Like when Robin would pop up, he was still enthusiastic and excited about being Robin, so much so that he has to make sure that he's introduced, like Batman and Robin in here.
Hello.
Robin, like Batman should be in here, and Robin, and he was like laying there. All
And
excited.
Robin, hello. But yeah, Ivy's yelling Batman and Robin, hello. And
Magog has been brought into a regular continuity as well a while back. He was in the Justice Society of America run that Jeff Johns did. Even he's tough. No, yeah, it was good. That was by far my read of the week, and I did manage to go ahead and reread. Oh, I don't even think I ever read this whole thing before. I think I just kind of flipped through it in the past. I do have the floppies, and I have issue 4 and the CGC 9.8. But this is my first collected volume of it, and it was a blast. It was really good. I highly recommend. This isn't the first time this is the JLA Avengers George Perez honoring edition that the Heroes Initiative did.
Yeah.
And I'll be giving one of these away.
If it's Dick Grayson's Robin, by the way. Batman doesn't refer to him as his first name. Hmm?
Yeah, you can just tell it's Dick Grayson's Robin the way he carried himself.
Yeah.
But I'll be giving one of those trade paperbacks away in this month's Legion Loot giveaway as well.
So let me get this straight. So for $5 a month.
Did you see that clip DJ did?
so let me get this straight. So for $5.99 a month, I can win over $300 worth of books.
Yeah, no. So it's got like that We Live pack in there that I shared with like We Live Volume 1, and then the white and black and the free comic book day stuff, and then that trade paperback, which is like upwards of $250, fluctuating up and down from there. And then it's got all the books from Big Time Collectibles, the actual channel sponsor as well. So it's a hefty one this month. It just happened like that. I didn't really plan it. I fell into some opportunities and I jumped on them to try to make it available for the people that support the channel.
Mark, can you open up that book and just show the image of where Superman becomes worthy?
You want to see the cover or the actual panel?
The actual panel.
It's very short-lived.
Yes, but worth
it. He takes one swing and knocks a door down, but yeah, it's dope.
How much is $5 Canadian? $5.
That's where Thor throws him the hammer on the last page, and he jumps up and grabs it, and then just smashes the wall down with it.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah, it's super dope.
Superman holding Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
Wielding Mjolnir. Beautiful.
He's holding Cap's shield because he's
like
Cap was chosen to be the tactician. So Cap is standing at the fringes of the fight, watching everything happen because the universes are crossing over each other and they keep flip-flopping through time, like time waves and reality altering waves keep coming by. So you could go in there with a team of these people and that wave will come by and it'll change what era they are, and it'll even swap out people in the battlefield. And they needed somebody who can see these immediate changes and immediately like call to action. Like now this person who was shooting arrows is now a speedster. What should they be doing now in this moment? And that person is Cap. No better person to stand there and call the shots than Cap. And you're going to listen to Cap. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? Unless you're Iron Man, then he's going to teach you why you should listen to him. But so Cap handed Soup his shield for the fight, and it was awesome. And Martian Manhunter, they roll in the Justice League. Martian Manhunter dials everybody in, so they don't need comm links. They're all dialed in with each other via Martian Manhunter. So Cap was dialed into everyone on the battlefield, just calling shots. Man, it was a wild book, man. It was good. It was really good.
If you're gonna want someone leading a battle, it might as well be Captain America if he's calling the shots. But that scene where Superman catches Mjolnir, that's just
boom.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's almost sad that they put it on the cover where you kind of expect it. You're waiting for it to happen because otherwise you wouldn't have.
Right. It would have been like those
Yeah, and in the book, like after the fight was over and everything, he went to go pick up the hammer to hand it to Thor, and it wouldn't lift. He's like, "Why is this difficult right now?" And Thor's like, well, he's like, "Well," and it's not like that he's not worthy anymore. It's Odin. Odin recognizes that he's worthy, and like if you're not Thor and you're worthy, you still have to have a justified reason to pick up the hammer. It's just not. It's not a free pick for every worthy person out there. Even if you're a worthy person, you can't just go pick up Thor's hammer just because you feel like it.
Yeah, which would explain Endgame for those of you that are wondering.
Yeah, why he didn't pick it up soon.
Yeah, Cap may not be available to or not able to pick it up afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards or before. That's that's why
Well,
he might not.
budged
He wasn't.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if it nudged or not. It gave Thor concern though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thor said like during moments of extreme need, Odin is watching and he will know when the worthy need to lift it kind of dialogue. It's got me wondering how he actually worded it now. It was again there's so much that happens in this book. Everything happens quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that's a one and done story, Mark. I think that's a story that has to be read a few times. Like there's some things that can be lost in it. Not necessarily like the Killing Joke. The Killing Joke just has overtones. But that story needs to be read a couple times just for the gravity of it.
And the artwork, dude, just because what you find yourself doing, like you're in the moment of the action and the story, and then you go back and you kind of camp out on the artwork. But the dialogue that says, "There's an enchantment upon my hammer, laid by my father Odin. It is not easily lifted by others." Superman said, "I held it before." Thor told him, "My father is stern, Superman, but not stupid. A very few worthies have been allowed to overcome the spell in desperate hours. But know this, perhaps it was but briefly, but it was in good hands." So very few worthies were allowed to lift it in desperate hours. So it's just not free range. Like, yeah, I thought that was cool. Because his hammer sure does get passed around a lot these days.
Thanks, Donny Cates. But yeah, it's
His hammer's like the village bicycle. And I like his dialogue in this.
The hammer's like the city hall doorknob.
Yeah. I'll be honest with y'all. When it comes down to the fights, the DC Universe beast modes these people, and it's written by a Marvel writer. It's not written by a biased DC eyes. It's just they acknowledge that the DC Universe is a more powerful universe. They acknowledge that the world is literally even bigger. Wanda, who operates with chaos magic, and coincidentally, like right now with the Justice League stuff, they're focusing on chaos magic and Xanadoth and everything, the Lord of Chaos. When she comes over to the DC Universe and has to tap into chaos magic, it's way too much for her. Way too much for her. She starts looking like Nebula after Thanos was done with her. Like looking all like a zombie and weird, and she looks like a crackhead, like on her deathbed is what she looks like dealing with DC chaos magic. It's just way too much.
Do you feel Marvel kind of owed them that one though, because of X-Men and Teen Titans back in the 80s? That one kind of went in favor of the X-Men, if you ask me.
X-Men should drag the Teen Titans though.
Yeah,
let's get real. Let's get real.
Yeah,
like talking especially like 80s X-Men, like you're talking Claremont X-Men.
Yeah, but
well, they play it realistic. I guess in all sincerity, they play it honestly. You know what I mean? They're not playing favorites; they're playing it honestly. Iron Man is Marvel's ace in the hole in this book. He's fueled by a mother box though, because you have the Grandmaster and you have Metron that have really set up a lot of this stuff. Because Kronos, the Green Lantern lore character who was trying to look into the past to try to get the answers of creation, he's the big entity that's destroying universes, trying to find these big galactic answers and everything. So Metron and Game Master devise a plan to kind of slow him down and throw him off, and that's what pits these heroes against each other and everything. And they of course they're throwing in curveballs and little things like that, but they give Iron Man a mother box, and that's what's running his suit. So it's alpha Iron Man at this point. He's like, this is amazing,
cosmic.
Yeah. But still rocking that awesome era suit. And it's cool that we're getting like the time warps and everything, the reality alters, because it starts out with, you've got Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, but that first warp happens and everything. Then you're rocking with Hal and Barry for a while. and they get this moment where they actually see the outcomes of their lives. You're like, I see that I become parallax. I see that I kill the core and I lose Coast City, and I see all of this. So like, what do I have to live for? And then he sees that Kyle Rayner exists beyond his time, and he sees his legacy and what he left behind. And like, you have all these really cool heartfelt moments. And Wally with the same thing. With Barry with the same thing. He sees that Wally was left behind, and he picked up the mantle and he continues it in his honor and everything. So you get Hal and Barry having this long walk and talk about what happened to their lives and what it looks like moving forward and how important our legacies are. And it's not what we've done, but it's what we leave behind kind of thing. It's like, man, this is dope. This is so dope. It's just good, man. And for those that wonder, the big question, Superman versus Thor. Superman, the last son of Krypton, like God level character versus the actual God of the Marvel Universe, Thor. Bro, he drags him.
That's
like
not
it
a fair
was
fight.
it was a good fight. I'll give Thor that. It was a good fight. Thor, like Superman, like they go back and forth. I mean, Thor is no chump. Like he is literally a guy that can stand up to fight Superman. But I was going to be upset if they kind of played it off in a certain type of way, and Superman just gives him all that he's got, just unloads his heat vision on him, and Thor just grabs Mjolnir, and he goes full on God of Thunder, and he's just running through the heat vision. It's not even slowing him down, just blowing his armor off. His hair's getting fried, and he's just coming in talking trash the whole way. He's like, and he comes down with that hammer, and that's when like hairs on my armor standing up. And Superman just goes thump and catches it. Because they're both peeking, you know what I mean? They're both just full on peeking. Just catches the hammer, and Thor like the dialogue was something like, and the 9 realms, this or that, blah blah blah. And he comes down, and he catches the hammer, and goes, well, apparently on my Earth, we take it to 11, and then he just decks Thor. I'm like,
Spinal Tap, nice.
But then every single Marvel character present sees Thor drop, and they all dogpile Superman at once. I don't mean just jump on him. I mean they all just full on Superman and take him out. At that point, he was beat up from Thor just dragging him too. It was a good fight.
I think I'd rather like Silver Surfer Superman. Like, I get they have to have a sexy
Silver
name
Surfer
with
could
Thor.
drag the yellow sun energy right out of him.
Yeah, I was just like
fight. Silver Surfer would shut him down like that.
Yeah.
Silver, dude, that's what's so cool about this stuff, because you don't hear people talk about that fight. But that dude, Silver Surfer would Superman couldn't even get to him. Silver Surfer can outrun him for one. You know, he just he just manipulate it right out of him. He's got the cosmic awareness. Could Superman even touch him? Probably not.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It was Avengers and Justice League of America, right? Like it wasn't X-Men. We didn't have Spider-Man. We didn't have the FF. We didn't have all those. We had just the normal Avengers, right? We
didn't have cameos of a lot of other people like that.
How much was
Beast at one point, because Beast had been an Avenger previously. Right. So when the Time Warp came by,
he was an Avenger for a long time.
Yeah.
But how much of T'Challa did we get in that story?
Very, very little. But in the first half, when the Grandmaster and Metron set the two teams off to go collect these items, like go get a power battery, go get the Spear of Destiny, go get the Infinity Gauntlet, go get all these. There's 6 big items in both universes they're trying to collect, and both teams are trying to collect all 12 to stop the bad guy. But they were wanting them for their own purposes to stop Kronos. But when they went, one of the items was in Wakanda, and while the teams were fighting, T'Challa's like, grabs the item and leaves. It was funny.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer's a Dr. Solar level character. That's like, to put it in perspective, if you're not familiar with Dr. Solar, that's like sending Dr. Manhattan to fight Superman, which in Doomsday Clock, because that's like sending Dr. Manhattan, who's not on the philosophy rant, to fight Superman, because that's part of his character. That's why when you have characters like Dr. Manhattan, why they can actually work, because they're not out there just using their abilities. They're able to be, you have a shot, you can sit there and try to have a conversation with them and see how it goes, because they're willing to have that conversation, because they're so powerful. They've got the time to do it. But if Dr. Manhattan, Dr. Solar wanted to, Superman just doesn't have to exist. They just had to be like, you don't exist. There you go. You're gone. Easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in the end, that was the conclusion that Dr. Manhattan realizes how important Superman is.
We got to think the entirety of Doomsday Clock, per Dr. Manhattan, was him trying to make sense of of everything. You know, he wasn't there on a mission to stop anybody. He wasn't there to fight anybody. That wasn't what he was doing. He was trying to understand this world that he was in. You know, how he's always trying to understand things better. Like he's trying to make sense of stuff and keep a hold of his humanity in the process of doing it. That's what he was doing. Like that was the reason for the New 52 existing. Like he had went back to that moment when Alan Scott was on the train and he saw that train crash and he was watching Alan Scott reach for that lantern and he slid it over a couple of inches where he couldn't reach it. And it changed everything. You know, it's like, dude, like say what you want about that book being delayed and everything, but when you look at the implications and the details that they went into to write it and really weave it in, I really enjoyed it a lot. And Gary Frank is just a top-notch writer. But yeah, they didn't fight. He didn't fight Superman. Like there was no battle.
No.
It wouldn't have been necessary.
No. Come on.
But it was cool how, like, being a Superman fan, especially, and Superman being who he is, whether you're a fan of him or not, he is the reason for all superheroes existing. Would someone eventually have created some? Probably.
Oh, for sure.
Did they? No, Superman was first. So they kind of play into that, and they play into his mythos. Like, there's something about the Superman. Why can Dr. Manhattan see 3 origins for him? Why can he see a world where both parents perished in a car accident? Why can he see a world where his father died of a heart attack? Why in this world are they both still alive? What is this? What is the importance of this character? Why do all these events in this multiverse happen around this guy right here? What is it about him? And Superman did to Dr. Manhattan what he is meant to do to everybody. He instilled hope in him, something that Dr. Manhattan had lost a long time ago. And that being the case, that kind of stopped his quest in the DC universe of trying to find answers or reasons for cosmic questions that he was wondering, you know, and it was cool.
See what your dad said.
Hugo Danner was the first gladiator.
Yeah, but that's just it. Everything about Superman, like people like,
Yeah, the Phantom predated Superman too.
Yeah.
But he wasn't he's not a superhero. He's more of a pulp hero in my mind, like where he doesn't have meta abilities where Superman, you know, he flies. He's technically an alien.
He wore a mask
and
rode a horse.
Yeah, he had like the best gimmick ever, like the Ghost Who Walks, you know, passing his legacy. What a great character for legacy, you know, like your life is 100% about what you're about to leave behind to keep the facade going, to make people think that you're immortal, you can't be killed. But the Phantom definitely predates Superman.
Yeah, Superman represents everything that we should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like Captain America.
Just like Captain America.
But guys, seeing that,
I'm kidding.
I love
Captain America.
We're not going to start that truth, justice, and a better tomorrow conversation right now. We don't have time.
Just remember, Superman was half created by a Canadian. So yeah.
No, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I know like you were tired. I'm tired. I want to go watch Old School now. And
and another great thing about that movie, how they tie White Snake, here I go again, all the way through that movie is brilliant. Just brilliant. One song carries the entire film. Just like Lobo.
Blame Canada. Phantom Shadow, Zane and Baldwin. I want a new team up movie. Yeah, they're a little late for that. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody watching. I'm glad I was about to say that. I do have Warlord popped in the chat for a minute earlier, but I unboxed. I don't normally do mystery boxes, but I bought a mystery box from Warlord to help support him fund his Grail. Great community member. It was a $60 mystery box, and you don't want to miss this video because I learned how to put stuff up on the screen as I like it. But it was awesome. And
does that mean you can now edit Two Cool Guys?
No.
Okay,
because I've looked before in the past. Could I just use the basic Windows video editor?
Oh, okay.
That comes stock in any computer with Windows on it, but it doesn't allow you to put images up. You can just put text up, you know.
Okay.
But maybe I'll figure out if it lets you put pictures. I looked for it previously because I wanted to do that before, and I don't think it does that in this. It's just very, very basic, but it works for what I need it to. And Yeah, this mystery box was it was something. Be sure to check it out. Don't want to lead you one way or another. Just go watch it. It'll be available tomorrow. Chris, I would tell you can watch it now because you're a channel member, but I'm about to take it off of members only and switch it for tomorrow before I go to bed, or I'll forget.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, bud.
I want Tuk Tuk.
Well, I'm coming right now. I'm going to go get Finn Tuk Tuks. So I appreciate everybody watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Consider hitting that join button if you want in on this awesomeness that we got going over here on this channel. And remember,
Leave in the comments.
you said we are Legion.
Yeah, leave in there.